The reason that it's important to have a mentor is because
having a mentor is
The best way to get a mentor is to...
You should have a mentor because...
So this is a pic of me stalking Gary Vaynerchuk in 2017 and asking him to be my mentor. And this is a post he put up on his Instagram shortly afterwards.
No, I cannot be your mentor. I literally just had 35 different DMs that say, Gary, be my mentor. You don't need a fucking mentor. You need to fucking finally face the truth, which is it takes work. Enough with the mentor horseshit. Go fucking execute. There's unlimited free mentors on fucking YouTube. Go fucking work.
So I did. I worked. I launched a non-out company that's gone completely nuts and is a category leader. And then, I doubled down on the branding studio work. And now we've got this kind of like portfolio of amazing brands that we've built for some incredible founders that are going on to do like really, really cool things out there in the world. And now I run like an accelerator program for designers where I help them level up in business and basically become like better entrepreneurs. And as an entrepreneur, for me at least, there's always like real high highs and real low lows. And it doesn't matter where I am on that spectrum at any time of the day, week, month, year, whatever it is. I've always had the need for a mentor. And now that I'm older, I look back, it's probably down to the fact that I lost my dad when I was pretty young. And my granddad on my mom's side was my OG mentor. Then it was like friends' dads growing up. And then it was like bosses and good jobs that I enjoyed and people I looked up to. But now as a business owner, like I feel like I need mentors more than ever because there's so much that I don't know. And I'm always trying to learn more and figure out what the next thing is. So in this video, I'm going to jump on a plane to Dubai. I'm going to spend 3 days in the room with a mentor of mine and some other entrepreneurs who are further ahead in the game than I am, to learn as much as I possibly can, because I genuinely think that that's the cheat code to success, is just the proximity to people who are further ahead of you and learning as much as you can. So I'm going to shoot this thing kind of vlog style. I hope you dig it.
Yeah, I'm overzealous when I'm thinking about the cash flow. I never had no handouts, just came natural. I've been testing so much, all these wrestlers nice, all these different situations that I've been through. I seen pain trying to creep in through the window, but now I'm sliding through the hood in a Benzo. You gotta separate yourself just to elevate. I keep some drink in my cup to see through the hate.
So just get like what Victor is to me, just get yourself a Victor. Okay. You know, and then you could do with him. And I just
Very happy. Black chap. Black one. Come on.
round the applause for Black.
So, Will, why is it important to have a mentor?
well, the reason that it's important.
Hold on, this thing's fucking out, sorry.
So, yeah, hold on.
Guys.
So the reason that it's important to have a mentor is because you don't know what you don't know. You've really got two choices. You can either very slowly and very painfully figure things out on your own, and for some people that means never making it, never growing to the heights they want to grow, never achieving what they want to achieve, which for many people is a slow, painful death. Or you can just go to someone who's done exactly what you've done and just pay them, and they'll just look at your business like I do when people work with me. And I just like scan through the variables and I'm like, right, what are you doing for this? What are you doing for that? What are you doing for this? And I can just see so clearly what they're doing right and wrong. And then I just say, right, listen, go away and do that, then do that, then do that. And any great mentor will do that in a very simple way. And you can just bang, get straight through the roadblocks, and it really just shortcuts the learning curve.
Thank you, my dude.
My pleasure, man.
I personally believe that the biggest cheat code to life is finding someone who is living a lifestyle that you feel potentially attracted to in some way, aligned to whatever. It doesn't have to be exact, but it needs to be at least heading upwards. Finding that person and finding out if you can pay for proximity to them. Because if you get proximity to them, you will learn from all of their mistakes so that you don't make them, and you'll move 20, 50, 100 times faster than you'd ever do on your own. So it's the biggest cheat code that I've used for nearly 15 years. I've had mentors at various different points in my life. The one biggest tip is the best way to get a mentor is to pay a painful amount of money to work with them, because that is what will make you invested and all in and actually do the work.
Having a mentor is the biggest cheat code that there is, someone that's already made the mistakes that it is that you're looking to make in order to get to where you want to go. And if there's any shortcut or cheat code, it's finding somebody that's already achieved what it is that you want to do and just being like, yo, what are the cheat codes? What are the principles? What is it that you learned so I can avoid those pitfalls along the way?
You should have a mentor because you don't know shit. If you think about why you're unable to move forward with a plan that you have, is because you don't know something. And you need to admit you don't know something and find someone that does. Not from books, not from theory, but someone that actually knows from experience. And when you have someone that knows from experience, they can guide you not from the information, but from the certainty that they will give you, and that energy will propel you to the next step.
Well, guys, I hope that you're as excited as me. By far one of the best in the world. So let's get the hell into it. I'm going to take a seat and hand the mic to Sabri, and let's welcome him in for the next few minutes. Let's go.
Yo, how are you all doing?
Two different levels, I cannot relate. You never win if you playing it safe. It's all a game until you get played. You speaking so loud with nothing to say.
Okay, so the mental framework I've created has two main parts to it. There's constants and there's variables. The constants remain the same every single month. So you kind of fill these out once. I change mine kind of every 12 months. I just review them. But for the most part, every month, the constants remain the same. And then the variables obviously change month to month. So this is the stuff you fill out every time you meet with your mentor. I like to do the cadence of a monthly mentor meeting. And I've done this with people like Tim Duggan, Tom Carroll, both paid mentors of mine that I've used this process with, that has been really, really helpful for me in my business and my life and my whole world. So the constants have the following sections. There's an about me section. There's my obituary, which is what you write, which I'll go into a bit more detail in a sec. There's the vision that you have for your business, and there is your life plan, which is kind of a 10-year projection of from where you are right now. So the variable section have the followings. They have the too long don't read, which is a bit of a summary, obviously, on what you're about to share with your mentor. There's your North Star. There is the asks section. So you need to go in there with questions that you need answers to. And then there's a good, bad, and ugly section, which I'll go into a bit more detail in a sec. There's your focus for the month. So whatever it is that month that you're really focusing on. And then finally, there's your meeting notes that you take when you're in the meeting with your mentor. So this is the framework and the structure for how the mentor framework actually works. Let's now jump into Notion, where I've got an actual template. I've linked that down in the notes below, so you can just click and download this mentor template for yourself and use it in your own world. Right, so this is my actual mentor framework template that I've built this in Notion, just because I love Notion. You can use this in Google Docs or whatever you feel more comfortable with. But some important things to consider here. So first of all, the text that you're about to see is fictional placeholder text, just to give you an idea of what to write. Make sure you delete this text and replace it with your own, obviously really important. Here are the two sections. So this is the actual, I will send this link to my mentor 48 hours ahead of our meeting. I typically do a meeting in person over a coffee or a lunch with my mentors, or if they have to because they're traveling or I'm traveling, whatever it might be, we can do a Zoom call as well. But it's essentially about an hour-long session where we kind of sit down and work through all this stuff. So the constants are up here. I'll just kind of talk you through what these are. So a bit of an about me section. Again, this isn't me as such, this is fictional, but I just talk you through it to give you an idea. So I'm a senior brand designer with 15 years in the game. I've worked in studios, in-house, and freelance, but I'm now building my own thing. I care deeply about design that actually means something, and I want to partner with brands doing good in the world. Right now, I'm transitioning from being a hired gun to being a strategic partner. I'm here to build a design business that's profitable, purposeful, and punchy. So that's a bit of an about me section, which is part of the constants. The next thing is your obituary. So you write this kind of thing, depending on my real life one is really, really long and real personal. But just a bit of an idea of exactly, if this was your funeral and someone stood up in the church and whatever you believe in and said your obituary, what would that entail? What's a kind of a summary of what your legacy that you left behind? So she designed brands that stood for something and helped the people behind them believe in themselves too. She lived simply, worked smart, and made time for long dinners, belly laughs, and wild ideas. So like I said, my own actual personal one, I wouldn't share in here because it's very personal, but it goes into a lot more detail. But this will give you an idea of what to write for your obituary. Next we have is our vision or an impact goal. So in this instance, it's to build a thriving branding studio that helps sustainable challenger brands go from overlooked to unforgettable. I want to build a legacy of brands that challenge the norm and push culture forward while building a business that gives me freedom, flexibility, and time for life. So a bit of a constant summary on what our vision and impact goal is. And then we have our life plan, which is kind of a 10-year vision. So there's 10 questions here that you answer as if you're projected 10 years into the future. So let's say, 10 years from now, from you doing this, what does life look like? So if a movie was made about your life this year, what would it be called? Breaking the Brief. Age will be 38. I wish I was 38 in 10 years' time. Career, running a tight-knit 3-person studio, doing 1 million plus revenue from brand strategy and design for ethical startups. So that's kind of the career plan where I want to be in 10 years' time. Health, fit, strong, surfing 3 times a week, walking every day. Family, happily married to my best friend, 3 kids, weekends are sacred. Friends, deep small circle, quality time over quantity. Spiritual, regular journeying, time in nature, practicing gratitude. 2 things I try to do every day: read my daily foundations and complete a 15-minute high-intensity interval training session. 2 things I don't do is work with assholes and chase every lead. And my story summary at this point: I run a successful design business that employs a handful of my best friends. What I do for work every day feels like play, whilst genuinely helping business owners grow their businesses. I'm successful in wealth, health, and love, and I feel ecstatic and grateful to live the life I live. So this is kind of the 10-year vision of what we want our lives to be like 10 years from now. So really, really important exercise to do, and take your time to get this right, because you want to do this kind of once a year. So that is the constant section here. Next we move on to the variables. So like I said, I will send a link to this page to my mentor about 48 hours before our meeting. This stuff, like I said, always stays the same. It's the constant, but the variables are what changes. So we do a too long don't read section, which is this, just a bit summary of all this stuff here. So I raise my fees, need to redo our studio website, and I'm starting to feel burnt out. So that's the TLDR. Our North Star is to build a profitable brand studio working with sustainable challenger brands and do it in a way that feels aligned, exciting, and sustainable. My asks for the month is feedback on my new offer positioning, advice on qualifying clients better, and helping pricing a brand strategy retainer. The good, the bad, and the ugly is laid out like this. So I try and keep 3 points to each part. Good, obviously, things that are happening that are good in the space. So I landed a dream client in the health food space, finally raised my rates without flinching and feeling clear and focused after years of fuzz. So that's the good stuff. The bad stuff are things that are not ideal. You need to kind of fix these things, but still over servicing a legacy client. Proposal to project close rate is inconsistent, and website doesn't reflect where I'm at. So those are the bad things I need to work on. And then the ugly is like, this is really bad stuff. This is like critical, mission critical type things that we need to really, really focus on and fix. So burned out from juggling too many roles, imposter syndrome when charging strategy fees, and wasting time on low impact admin. So again, like sharing these things with your mentor, there's a high likelihood that your mentor has been through these things because they are further ahead in the game than you are, remember? They're further ahead on this journey that we're all on. We need mentors that are kind of projected ahead of us. So there's a high chance if you choose the right mentor, they have actually experienced these problems before, and they'll be able to give you actual valuable advice because they've empathized, because they've actually been where you are. So it's really important that you get these right, and important that you choose the right mentor as well. Focus for the month. So this is, again, is the one main focus for the month ahead. This is the one thing that I have to do this month. So in this instance, it's build my signature system and get it into a simple PDF I can use for sales calls, content, and proposals. And then finally, meeting notes. So these are literally notes that I take in the meeting with my mentor. So that mentor will be kind of feeding me back information. I'll be frantically typing away. And then I turn that into action points as well that I can just tick off once they are done. It's not ticking because there's nothing there, but that allows me to kind of see at the end of this meeting with my mentor, right, what are the action points I have to do? What has my mentor told me I need to work on? I can track these things here, and then I can come back, every few days, once a week, whatever that cadence is, and just check in on my action points and make sure I'm actually doing them, build them into my weekly to-dos, build them into my daily to-dos, and get these things done. So the next time I meet with my mentor in a month's time, guess what? He's given me some advice, he's given me some information, I've taken the notes, I've taken some action points, and I can actually demonstrate to my mentor, hey, look, tick, 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 done, 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 all those things we spoke about last month, and now this month, this is the new set of challenges. So you can see, guys, this is such a solid framework. It takes a little bit of time to get it right, but once you get it right, it's kind of smooth sailing from here on out. And this will make a massive, massive difference. If you find the right mentor, somebody who's ahead of the game than you are, somebody who's where you want to be, and you run this system with them, every month, you need to make it worth their while. I pay for my mentors sometimes. I pay them, $500 a month, whatever that might be, to have a meeting with them, to actually be able to text them and get their help when I'm in a spot of bother or need some advice. It has to be worth their while. You can't go to someone who's ahead of you and go, hey, I want to pull all this information out of you for free, for nothing, because even if they don't need the money because they're financially secure, whatever their situation might be, you still have to make it worth their while. Give them a piece of something. Give them something they can, give valuable information because they're going to get a return somehow in some way. That's the kind of trick to this whole thing. So that could be paying them. It could be giving them equity in something. It could be anything like that. It really just depends on your situation. But this mentor framework template has changed my world and my life massively. And like I said, it's linked in the notes below. It is a Notion page. I'm not affiliated with Notion in any way. I just genuinely love the program. But you can recreate this in any program that you feel comfortable in. Just wrapped up 3 days in Dubai at a mastermind with a mentor of mine. And man, if you're a designer out there and you are stuck or you want to get to the next level, having a mentor is honestly the biggest arbitrage of our time. It's such a hack. Looking at somebody who is where you want to be and paying them money to tell you how they did it and to help you adjust. Having a mentor that you pay that says, I used to be there and now I'm here and this is what I did to get from where you are now to where you want to be, which is where I am. It's just the biggest cheat code ever. Why would you figure stuff out on your own when you can get somebody else to help you who's already done it before? It's an absolute no-brainer. I would recommend it to anybody. Mentorship is such an advantage if you find the right person to mentor you. And I encourage you to find a mentor, invest time and money, and shortcut yourself to get to where you want to get to. See you in the next one.